Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. We'll continue from where we left yesterday. That is chapter 39, the exposition of a specific verse from the Gita and the creation of the Samadhi Mandir. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra. My most humble obeisance, I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sainath. We stopped at verse 85. Again, we were discussing where Baba was teaching about what is jnana and ajnana, and also how do you realize God. And we discussed extensively about the aspect called devotion. The only thing that you need to understand today to evolve on the path of spirituality is nothing but bhakti. So love and devotion is what we discussed. So let's continue from verse 86. When the charioteer is so skilled a leader as the intellect, why should the master of the chariot worry? He should carry on the worldly business with an easy mind. So if you remember yesterday, I was discussing about when you give the reins into the hands of the divine, one who is within you, like what Lord Shri Krishna has described in Bhagavad Gita. I am the charioteer and I will, rein your horse. I will guide you on how to progress. You just do your part of the deal. So we have to just follow the righteous path and that which we have born for a purpose in this world. Whatever are our duties, we have to do it in a very righteous manner. So being our good self and doing everything in the prescribed manner and within the time limit is very, very important. So we don't have to worry. So here it is saying, when the charioteer is so skilled a leader as the intellect, why should the master of the chariot worry? He should carry on the worldly business with an easy mind. So don't worry about what can come about, what is happening, why something is happening, favorable, unfavorable. We also discussed about the destiny. Everything is preordained. The moment you don this body, both, the pairs of opposites, the good and the bad, that's going to happen in your life. But when you have equanimity of mind, when you have the Guru with you, his grace with you, you will be able to overcome Maya, the delusion, and then be able to do everything in this world in nishkam karma, that is selfless service. That is what you'll be able to attain. So to see to the proper performance of all the bodily functions is the work of the intellect. Once the mind is habituated to this, all the business turns beneficial. What does that mean? You have to train your mind. See, your mind is the one who will point out in the right direction. So what does reining the horse mean? That you're guiding the horse to in which direction the horse has to go. Similarly, the mind has been given the capability to make you rise or to make you fall down. So you have to train your mind, and that comes with discipline, practice, and studying the scriptures and following the instructions of the Guru and doing your duties within the time limit and keeping in time everything, doing it in a very systematic manner is required for your spiritual progress. But the mind, once it is habituated, what does habituated mean? Once it becomes part of, they say habits die hard. So the mind has to get habituated to doing that every single day. So once you do that, then it will guide you in the right direction. So how does the mind gets habituated? By practice. So sadhana is very important. So every single day you have to train the mind. The mind is going to run hither-thither like a wild horse. It's not going to listen to you. But once you train it, then it will become very easy. How do you train? Very simple example. If you have to wake up every single day at 4:30 a.m., even before the alarm goes on, you should be able to wake up. So that's how you're training your mind. So every single day when you wake up, your mind already knows, okay, now it's 5 minutes to 4:30. I will wake up. Let me wake up right now. So that is how you will be able to achieve. It's not going to happen overnight, but make it a habit. Practice it. You will be able to succeed, which is what Lord Shri Krishna has very nicely explained in Bhagavad Gita. It is my conviction that you will be able to control the mind, because when the Lord himself is the charioteer within you, so why worry about the mind? But the effort is yours. Self-effort is a must. When the physical organs run after sense objects like word, touch, form, etc., there will be needless waning of strength and also the fear of fall at every step. Absolutely. So what's happening is this body and the mind is constantly running after these sense objects. We are going outwards. So when you're running after the sense objects, the desires and every other thing, what happens is there is going to be, the losing of your strength. The energy is wasted in, in talking, in doing different things. And what happens? There will be a needless waning of strength, and also the fear of fall at every step. You're actually fearing, oh, what happens if I fall here, what happens if I lose here, what happens if I fail here. We are constantly driven by this fear of failure. But how does it matter? My Krishna Guruji will ask one very important questions when someone expresses that they are fearful of losing a job, or they are fearful of failings in maybe in an exam or in their life. He'll ask, let me ask you one question. He'll say, what is the worst thing that can happen? Or even like example, if someone is saying, okay, I'm worried about my sick parents, he'll ask a very simple question: what is the worst that can happen? Worst come worst is they will die, or you're going to fail, you're going to lose everything. What is then, what can happen at the worst? That is all right. But don't you think you're capable to rise from there? We are all, he says, right, if death is the thing that you're fearing, whether your mother is going to die or father is going to die out of some sickness, let me tell you, see, I'm also a body. I've manifested in this body. This body has to anyway die. We all know that the day we are born, we will die someday. So why fear about the death? All you need to do is take the name of the divine. Yesterday we did this. Even when the death strikes you, the one thing that you need to remember is you have to keep chanting the name of the divine. Hari Bol, we said. When you keep chanting the name of the divine, you will attain the divine. So where is the question of this fear of death? So that also is not going to be there. Then if you think you're going to lose a job, are you not capable of getting another job? You think this world is what, just there are no opportunities in this world? Of course you have n number of opportunities, but you need to just put that extra effort to make it happen. So there is nothing to fear. Why are you clinging to those straws in life? You don't have to cling to those straws. Cling to the lotus feet of the divine Lord Almighty. Surrender to him. Let his will happen. Be absolute assured. Nothing shall befall you. This is the conviction you need to have. That is why we say absolute faith, complete surrender, unconditional pure love, and exclusive devotion. When you have all these four, there's nothing else to achieve in life. Then you'll just be sleepwalking this entire material worldly existence. So whatever pleasure one finds in the five sense objects like word, touch, form, etc., ultimately turns into pain. Truly, nothing is so painful as ignorance. This is very, very important. Let me explain to you. Whatever pleasure one finds in the five sense objects like word, touch, form, etc., ultimately turns into pain. I'll give you a very beautiful example. Say, assume you met your boyfriend. You both are in absolute love. In the initial days, you're waiting to go and meet your boyfriend. From morning, you're just counting the time. Oh, I wish it become 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. And then you run. Even for the 10 minutes that you want to meet him, you see him, you're waiting that whole day. Your single pointed thought is that I'm going to meet him. And you're experiencing that sweet bliss within yourself. You're going to say all the nectar sweet, words to him. I love you. How beautiful you are. Every aspect of your boyfriend, like we describe the divine Lord Almighty, you'll be describing about your boyfriend. He's occupied within your entire being. There's no other thought that you can get. And then everything in life seems so rosy. It's everything is pink. You're seeing the entire life as with the pink color glasses, because everything appears so beautiful. It's the Princess Cinderella kind of a movie that's going on in your life. You're imagining sweet things. Everything is going very nice. You're enjoying with him. You're going for a movie. You're going and eating different things. You're going for restaurants. Every moment you savor as though that is the last thing in life you want to achieve in your world. But what happens then? Finally, you get to a point where you both decide you want to get married. Okay, and then you get married. And then what happens? That honeymoon period is only 90 days, like they say. I don't know what this 90 days mean, but I'm just quoting what I hear what I hear from people, how they describe their life to be. So people say the honeymoon period is only for 90 days. But what happens after that? Then, you don't want to see each other's face. Then starts argument. The same things which you appreciated about that person, now you're finding faults with that. What has changed? Isn't that your isn't that your mind which is now getting tainted? Why? Because I think that's an expectation. The expectation is you have to be like this. But same thing, you knew your boyfriend or a girlfriend had those, idiosyncrasies, or they had this tendency. But at that time, when you were in love, when you're going and meeting, and when you're, enjoying the pleasurable moments with each other, that time, that didn't seem anything wrong to you. You didn't even come to your attention. You're not even noticing it, but you're lost in each other's company. But what happened now? That one thing which you totally ignored is come and hitting you, like, it's staring at you, and you're unable to bear it. What does it mean? That means whatever pleasure one finds in the five sense objects, like word, touch, form, etc., ultimately turns into pain. The same thing which appeared to you so rosy, so sweet, everything, then it's become painful. Now you're cribbing about the same quality or character about, your partner. So what happens now? Then when you're married, you're committed for rest of your life. And then what? Every single day, God, I wish I stay at work. The husband says, I want to work late. Why? I don't want to go and hear to her whining. I don't want to hear to my wife's whining. So when what happened to this very, beautiful beloved, oh, I love you, all this, what happened to all of those sweet, sweet talks? It's destroyed. So everything that you felt, his presence, his smell, the perfume, you would admire, oh, what a nice perfume. Oh, this is the perfume my boyfriend wears. This is the perfume my girlfriend, uses, and she smells like this. So all the description is gone, right? The touch, all this, the feel, everything is gone. And now you both are irritated. You're at each other's throat constantly. So that is what he's saying. This material world, what you think, the pleasure of touch, seeing, a smell, everything becomes painful at later moment in time. And then ultimately turns into pain. Truly, nothing is so painful as ignorance. And what he's saying is that there is no more greater pain than ignorance. Actually, we've done enough of ignorance. Ignorance is what? Believing that I am the body, I am the mind, and this material world is what is the reality. The material world is not real. It is unreal. So that is the ignorance. The ignorance is the most painful of all other pains. That is what he's explaining here. So infatuated by the word, a deer loses its life in the end. An elephant enjoys the touch, but has to bear the irritation of the goat too. Again, this is an example. What happens? Infatuated by the word, a deer loses its life in the end, and an elephant enjoys the touch, but has to bear the irritation of the goat too. Means the elephant goes behind the she elephant. So they're, in the forest, just to capture the elephant, they'd have kept an image of a she elephant, like just a structure, and then the elephant prays fall for that, and then what? It gets irritated, it's captured, and then it's tortured. Why are you running after? What does it mean? Again, it defines about the lust and the greed. Why are you running after the material worldly pleasures? Isn't it sense object? The moment the elephant saw, a she elephant, like a structure, it believed, oh, that's a she elephant, and it wanted to go towards it. And when it went, what? It fell into a ditch. That's exactly what it's saying. So the sense organs, the sense objects are enticing. It's like, come to me, come to me, come to me. And that's Maya. Don't fall for it. Then, beguiled by the fragrance, the black bee gets trapped in the lotus. If each one by itself leads to such calamities, how disastrous must be all the five together. Imagine, this is very important. Just one sense is giving you so much problem. Imagine the five senses acting all at one time, where you're seeing, you're listening, you're tasting, you're smelling, you're touching. Can you believe all the sense acting together? And then what happens? There's a huge calamity awaiting you. Why do you need to go outward? Use all the five senses. The words, sing the praises of the divine. I always keep reminding you of my most favorite bhajan, which is Madhurashtakam, which is composed by Lord Adi Shankaracharya. How sweet it is. I don't think anybody else would have been capable of composing such a great bhajan. You know why? Lord Adi Shankaracharya is an avatar of Lord Shivji himself. Who else can be a greater devotee of Lord Shri Krishna? Imagine such a sweet bhajan. Adharam madharam, vadanam madhuram, Madhuradhipate, Akhilam Madhuram. Madhuradhipati, he is the master of all the senses, enjoyer. The sweetness, what is Madhur? Madhur is in his praises. So you have to use your words to praise the Lord Almighty, not praise your girlfriend and all. You are not going to go anywhere. The same praises will turn into all the insults and abuses much later. I'm sure you have experienced in your own life or in your own within your own family members or your circle. This is the case. So knowingly fully well that this is going to happen, why are you falling in that ditch? Are you not getting this lesson over and over and over again in all the scriptures, whether you take Bhagavad Gita, whether you take Srimad Bhagavatam, or whether you take Uddhav Gita, Narad Bhakti Sutras, Samarth Ramdas's Das Bodh, everything is talking about the same things. Don't get lost into your sense objects. When you know fully well, when you get attached, believing that somebody is my father, mother, it's so painful sometimes when you have to listen to this. An example, this body's families and people around talking all the nonsensical stuff, you feel, oh my God, I feel so sad. What kind of ignorant beings are they? Instead of taking the name of the God, they are lost in their mind talk. And they are not only lost in themselves, they irritate everybody else around them. Why should you involve in it? And yesterday I told you a very beautiful lesson which my Krishna Guruji has taught. And what is that lesson? The lesson is you don't have to react. Don't go outside. Be lost in the divine within yourself. Let them talk what they have to. You're not letting that, the words hit you. What is reacting? The reaction is mind. Do not allow your mind to react. So, no matter what anybody say in this world, it should not affect you. I'm not joking. It's taken me 12 years for the first time to understand what does silence mean. I'm not saying I'm there yet. But yes, I have to do my sadhana to practice that immense capability of silencing my mind and the power of not reacting and not responding. That it is not required. See, these are the simple lessons. But what is not happening is that you're not able to do because your mind is overpowering. It's talking too much. All the demons, like I said in Devi Mahatmyam, they all come full force. And at that time, you have to use lot more force, extraordinary effort to overcome them. And how do you overcome? Simple. Isn't this very simple? You don't need to respond. You don't need to react. Why are you responding? Is it important that you have to prove any point to anybody? No, you don't have to. They are all idiots who are full of ignorance. Sorry for my French. When I say idiots, it's not like idiots because they are living in their mind. What else can you do? You have to only feel sad for this being. Sad for these people that they don't understand the value of their human birth. What else can you do to them? Because they don't want to listen and people sit with big ego. I know 1947 story. I know everything, I am the greatest. I have done this. I have done that. But sir, 1947 was then. Today life has changed. Today we have transformed. Today 2-year-old is on smartphone. We have come into that era. What are you talking about 1947? In your days, not even one phone was there. So where is the question of smartphone? Today's kids, the moment they wake up with iPhone, That is the world we have entered into. So let's not go back to 1947 or 1952 or whatever that years are, right? Let us talk today. Let us focus this moment in taking the name of the divine. So please take the name of the divine. That is the only redemption that you can achieve. And most important, silence. You don't have to react. You don't have to respond. See, you must understand that this is how people are. When you understand that, neither praises nor ignominy will ever affect you. It doesn't affect you at all. Why? Because everybody's talking through their mind. When somebody is pleased, see, if you're going to give a very expensive, a diamond necklace to your wife, she's going to say, oh, you're my sweetie pie. Oh, you're the best husband in the world. What happens after a few days, the diamond, that craze, that hangover of the diamond necklace comes down. And then what happens? Okay, oh, you're one worse character. I've never seen a person like you. So those are the things that comes back. So what happened to that hangover? It's a momentary thing. So nothing is permanent. Because you're happy for that momentary thing, your people are going to say nice things. The moment you're out of that, then they're going to say something. But please understand, everybody's talking through their mind. The mind is unreal. That's what we're talking about. It's deluded. So everything that you see in this world is untruth. The only truth is the Lord Almighty. So sing His glories, sing His praises. Make your entire sense organs work towards Him. So, smell the beautiful fragrance of that incense sticks that you light, and then make yourself to burn like that in service of Him, which gives the fragrance for this entire world and people around you. That is what you have to attain. And what else? Touch. What do you touch? You touch and feel Him in service. When you touch the lotus feet of your Guru, you're redeeming yourself with all the sins. How profound is that? Just that one touch to His feet, it melts your heart. Feel that touch, and do service, do seva to the divine Lord Almighty. And what is the touch? You have to make those beautiful dishes and offer to Him. That is the way you can use your sense organ to serve Him. And what else can you do? And listen to the glories of the divine Lord Almighty. How beautiful is this? So you're using all your sense organs for the service of the divine, and then you will redeem yourself. Evolve on the path of spirituality. We are not here to pander to anybody. Let me tell you this much. You don't owe anything to anybody, but you owe everything to the Lord Almighty, because this birth is only His grace. So what makes you think you can waste your human birth? Being born as a human is a boon. Don't waste yourself and become that gutter and go into that, cycle of birth and death. Redeem yourself. So coming back. The form bewitches a moth who finally gets burnt. The fish enjoys the taste but loses its life instantly. I think this is very simple example. I don't even have to explain. And actually, when we do Guru Charitra, you will learn about the 24 Gurus of Lord Dattatreya. And in that, he so beautifully explained each of this. And what does he say? The fish falls prey for that small, morsel of food. And then what? It gets killed. Likewise, we human beings, just for that one morsel of food, get trapped in this material world. That is what all these examples mean. I don't think I really need to explain. I have explained every single day the same thing. It is you who need to understand and make effort to redeem yourself and, cut asunder the ignorance with the sword of this knowledge and free from the bondage of material worldly life, the attachments. So, after all, so, beguiled by the fragrance, the black bee gets trapped in the lotus. If each one by itself leads to such calamities, how disastrous must be the 5 altogether? After all, these are only animals, birds and aquatic creatures. But even the wise human being, after seeing their sad fate, still runs after the sense objects. Could ignorance be anything different? It's again a very beautiful question Baba is asking here. What is he saying? See, at least they are the birds, animals and aquatic creatures. What about the wise human being? Why does Lord Shri Krishna say the human birth is the one he most appreciates and he most loves? Why does he say that? Because you have an opportunity to reach the divine. But what do you do? The wise man? The wise man means you have a mind, you have an intellect. God has given you all the capabilities so that you can use that intellect, you can use the mind to reach God. But what are you doing? You're getting lost in the material world. And what is he saying? After seeing their sad fate, still runs. Even after knowing the truth, you're still running after the sense objects. Then what is the point in you knowing the truth? Because when you're not even ready to take that lesson and do something about it in your life, you still want to go fall in the same trap. When we are being told, don't get married, marriage is going to put you in a bondage. Why are you getting into it? But still you want to do the same thing despite knowing this lesson. Then what use is it of you getting that knowledge? Then you're not putting any effort to redeem yourself from it, right? Isn't it your test? It is everybody's test. Everybody has certain attachments. But how do you break out of it? By being firm, by surrendering to the divine, by making sure, okay, I am not going to do this. That is the firmness you need to bring. If you don't bring that firmness, how will you redeem yourself? This is what Baba is saying. Even after knowing, being a wise human being, you're still falling prey to it. Still runs after the sense objects. Could ignorance be any different? Then how will you overcome ignorance? Can it be any difference than you? Such a dud head. When ignorance is removed, and sensual pleasures are given up, the agitated mind will be emancipated from the thraldom of illusion, and the creature will run towards self-realization, which will bring him the highest bliss. Absolutely. Again, I don't think I'm going to go in detail, but this is what I've been explaining. Let me read it this for you once again. When the ignorance is removed and sensual pleasures are given up. So you have to give up all your sensual pleasures. I want to eat nice food, nice clothes, endless are lust, greed, you name it. Your desires are never ending. It's like a bottomless pit. And the agitated mind, who's causing all these desires? The mind. And who's agitated? The mind is agitated, will be then emancipated. Once you withdraw and once you go inwards, the mind will get emancipated from the thraldom of illusion, and the creature will turn towards self-realization, which will bring them the highest bliss. So this is how you will evolve on the path of spirituality. In your heart, contemplate on Hari Guru. What does Hari Guru mean? Why is the word Hari Guru? Guru is the Parabrahma. He's Lord Hari himself. I've explained this every single day. I'm going to repeat this once again. Lord Bhagavan Shri Krishna says that I am the very self of the Guru. The Guru is no different than me. He is very clearly said. And if you think the Guru is a human being, then you are making the biggest mistake, biggest error of your life. And what? Then there's no redemption for you after that. Please remember, the Guru worship is the highest form of worship. See, it is very nicely explained in Guru Charitra. When we do this, you will learn and understand what is it said there. See, when the gods are angry, you can turn towards your Guru. Your Guru can save you from that wrath. But if your Guru gets angry, no gods in this world can ever save you. That is the power of the Guru. Guru Bhakti is the highest. Guru means Hari Guru. Guru is none other than Hari, and Hari is none other than the Guru. So both are one. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Don't ever forget this. So when you have this grace of this Guru, this beautiful divine master in your life, please obey him. Please worship him. And service to him, you will attempt redemption. And take his name. Chant his name. You don't need to do any other gymnastics. Do the simple sadhana. You will attain your spiritual wheel. In whatever capacity, he will grant you that much spiritual wheel. So go on that path. With your ears, so what is it saying? In your heart, contemplate on Hari Guru. With your ears, listen to his life story. Let the mind meditate ceaselessly on his form, and the tongue chant his name. Exactly what I've been talking about. The only way is use your five senses only to talk about him. Sing his praises, listen to his glories, chant his name. Meditate upon him. Let your eyes only see him. That's all. You have to adore him. Make him the object. Dhyana Moolam, Gurur Murti. Puja Moolam, Gurur Padam. Mantra Moolam, Gurur Vakyam. Moksha Moolam, Gurur Krupam. And don't forget this. I'm repeating this every single day. There is no other way. This is the simplest way for you to attain that divine Lord Almighty. The Parabrahman is sitting right in the palm of your hand. Don't lose this opportunity. Go walking to the place of Hari Guru. With the nose inhale the fragrance of his Nirmalya. How beautiful. Fold your hands in obeisance to his feet, and with eyes take his darshan. Oh my God, how sweet is it? What does Nirmalya mean? It is always, it doesn't die. It's to eternity. When we say, when we offer flowers to the God, we have to take it and we have to keep it separate. Why? We say that's Nirmalya. It's always ever pure. It doesn't dry, it doesn't fade, but it's always ever fragrant. That's what it is. What is he saying? Go walking, to the place of your Hari Guru. With the nose inhaling the fragrance of his Nirmalya. My Krishna Guruji, when you come in his presence, the sweet smell, the different fragrance that you can experience. You can smell. Sometimes there is a fragrance of champak, jasmine, or even sandalwood paste. Different fragrances you can smell around him. You can experience that. It's very divine. Who can manifest something like that? Only the real master, not anybody else. They are absolutely purest being there. Don't go by their fragile looking body or thinking that, oh, they're an old man. No, don't fall for that. Or like Lord Dattatreya, he looks very young. He's known as a sky clad. and he looks only 8 years old or 14 years old, nothing more than that. Can you ever question his appearance? No, you can't. But don't go by that appearance. Go by the divinity who they are. That is what is important. Why are you seeing the Maya? The appearance is Maya. When you see the divine, when you have the devotion, don't you think they will reveal themselves to you? Of course, but how will you get that grace? The grace is, when the grace is experienced, when you have that faith in them, when you put your effort in doing all this service, which is very beautifully explained. Use this body, mind, your sense organs in serving and in devotion to them, and then you will redeem. Every sense organ has to be used for the Hari Bol, Hari Bhakti only, not for anything else. Then fold your hands in obeisance to his feet, and with the eyes take his darshan. How beautiful it is. Fold your hands. You have to be show humility. The bhakti has to flow from every pore of your being. The moment you take his name, tears of joy should roll your eyes. How profound is that? Why should you cry for anybody in this material world? Because they are not worth it. Let me tell you, nobody is worth it. Only God is worth it. Let your tears be saved in offering the devotional service for the divine, not for any human being. And there is no point in crying over any human being. Sometimes I get very irritated, with everybody. But my Guruji will keep saying this, what, you need to overcome this. Why? Because please understand, this entire creation is the Lord himself. You have to be able to see God in everything and everybody. And that's the biggest spiritual sadhana, because you have to get to that. Only when you experience God in everybody, you understand they're all ignorant beings. But instead of that, you don't have to feel, you don't have to be angry or hate anybody. See, they are all ignorant beings. You need to understand. This is what Baba so beautifully explained. But you need to just see the divine. Just experience this world as a Maya, the play of the Lord. So you're not going to get swayed when you see the God in everything. Radha Rani was able to achieve this state in Vrindavan. When Lord Shri Krishna left Vrindavan, went to Mathura, she was completely, of course she's going to feel devastated. Everybody were devastated, including Yashoda Maya and all other gopis. They couldn't bear the pain. They cried. They were like stopping Akrura from taking Krishna and Balram with them. But what happened later? Especially Radha Rani, she saw Krishna in everything. The jamun, there's this black fruit, it's called jamun. So she could see that the tamla tree, Krishna has become the tamla tree. The cows and the calves have turned into Krishna. Even Yashoda Maya, when she's coming and talking to Radha Rani, she's asking Radha Rani, don't you feel the pain that Lord Krishna is not here with us? How are you able to bear? And Yashoda Maya is crying. And that time she says, you know what? I see only Krishna in you. See, Krishna is talking to me. See, that is the calf, which is drinking milk from the cow, its mother. See, that is Krishna. I can only see Krishna everywhere. Krishna has not left us and gone. That is the faith. That is what seeing the Lord in everything. That is the highest state. That is called attaining prema unto the lotus feet of the Lord Shri Krishna. Attain that. That is the supreme love. That is called the ultimate love. That is why Radha Rani is worshipped as a primary divinity. In Vrindavan as well. They don't say Krishna Radha, they say Radhe Krishna, because she was the highest devotee of Lord Shri Krishna. And who's Radha Rani? Radha Rani is none other than Lord Shri Krishna himself, because nobody else can attain the divine, the love, to be able to see that. It's called prema, it's called raga, nuga bhakti. No matter, even Krishna was not physically present, but he was always there. Even today, Lord Shri Krishna has not left Vrindavan, he's very much there. But how many can experience it? How many can see that? But that you have to evolve in that devotion. And how do you attain the devotion? Hari Guru, that is all. Guru Bhakti is the key for attaining this devotion, because the real master is none other than Shri Krishna himself. So attain that Hari Bhakti, attain that Guru Bhakti. In this way, when the inclinations of all the sense organs are lovingly directed towards him, blessed will be the state of the devotees. What else is this but God devotion? I hope you understood. See, this is a very important lesson. If you cannot change this, your life is made. You don't need anything else. You don't need anyone else. Let me tell you, this world itself is a very painful existence, but we have to go through. But when we can see the Lord in everything, when you are lost in him, when you are doing everything for the divine, what is there to What else is remaining? And then he sleepwalks this entire life for you. That is what the devotion has to be. You just have to take his name. This material world is not worth it, let me tell you. In short, eradicate ignorance totally and know that what remains is perfect knowledge. Such is the implied significance of this verse, which Shri Krishna suggested to Arjuna. Absolutely. As it was, Nana was already full of humility. On hearing the sweet exposition, he prostrated at Baba's feet, making obeisance with both his hands. He then very sincerely and earnestly prayed, Baba, please dispel my ignorance and destroy my obstinate ego by educating me properly. Absolutely. See, most important, you have to show humility unto the lotus feet of the Guru and then seek the grace from the Master and ask them to teach you in the right manner so that you can understand what is the truth and what is ignorance. And when you understand the truth, you will be able to overcome all the obstacles in your life. Then you can attain God devotion. He then very sincerely and earnestly prayed, Baba, please dispel my ignorance and destroy my obstinate ego by educating me properly. A fond outward display of righteousness, but with a mind full of doubts within and without the capacity to bear insult, even for a moment, can ignorance be different from this? Please, this is a very important lesson again. A fond outward display of righteousness, but with a mind full of doubts within and without the capacity to bear insult. See, you need to understand the one way to overcome the ego is people are going to insult you and speak bad about you. How will you take it? Do you have the guts to take it? The strength. What is it called? Fortitude, forbearance. Do you have that in you? Why should you bother when somebody is insulting you or somebody is praising you? You are the divinity. You have the devotion. Hari Bhakt you are. What can stop you? Can any word even come and pierce you? No. Please know that every word and every insult that comes to you is going to get directed back 1,000 more times to the same person who's insulting you. Have that kind of devotion. Have that Hari, be that Hari Bhakti, be that Hari Bhakta, highest devotee of the Lord Shri Krishna. When you become that, nothing shall befall you but forbear. How does it matter when somebody is, praising you and in speaking bad about you? Doesn't matter. Withstand and just say Krishna Arpan. Think that these people are saying all the beautiful things about you and nothing shall happen. I'm telling you, this is very important lesson for you to evolve on the path of spirituality. Why? Because that breaks your ego. That destroys your ego. You need to understand the power of this. When somebody insults, just don't even pay attention to that. That is how you will be able to develop equanimity of mind, which is something Lord Shri Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita and in every other scripture. So, without the capacity to bear insult even for a moment, can ignorance be different than this? So, if you're not able to bear, if you don't have the capacity to bear an insult, then what is ignorance different from? So then you're still ignorant being, because you're not understanding the truth that anything that someone says about you doesn't qualify you, whether they are praising or whether they are going to pour insults on you. That doesn't determine of who you are, what you're capable of. Please know that those tests are put in your life so that you develop that spiritual strength in you. You show the character of spirituality in you by living the lessons, not getting disturbed by what anybody's saying. This is the greatest sadhana that you will be able to do, if you can do, and then you will attain your spiritual will like that. It's just right there. Inwardly, a keen desire for honor and reputation with an outward show of meditation, while anger, lust smolder within. What is this but ignorance? Oh my God, this is a very, very powerful lesson. Inwardly, a keen desire for honor and reputation. What are you seeking for? Honor, name, fame, recognition from the material world, from people, from your job, from every other thing. And what is it then you're running about? Why do you bother about somebody has to honor you, somebody has to talk nice about you, somebody has to praise you? Doesn't matter. Look, my Krishna Guruji gives one very beautiful lesson, and that is, keep just doing. Don't bother how things shape up, because everything in the material world is unreal. So you're only enacting a play. See, you're an actor, you have a character, which you have given a role you're playing. So think that you're just acting, you're just play acting. So what makes you think you are the one who's the real character in that? Nobody is real except God alone. So when you know that this is just a play and play of Maya, then why are you getting carried away that you should get recognition, name, fame? No. When you stop going after that, let me tell you, what has to come to you will come to you. Then it doesn't even get into your head. That's why he says never let success get your head or failure to your heart. And don't think you have to hear praises. Sometimes when I have to deal with people in the material world and I have to go out, I'll see you have to just give, sometimes praise them to heavens. Why? Because that is what they want, and they don't understand the truth, so they are not spiritual. So we are not here to discuss them, but this, you have to, the one who's listening to the satsang, you are the one who's getting this knowledge, so you need to follow that path. So are you inwardly thinking about, I need reputation, I need good recognition, name, fame? Don't go after this. It's not worthy. Instead, go seek your spiritual being. And then what does it say? With an outward show of meditation. Outwardly you're showing that you're meditating. No, don't do this. You have to do it in real, for yourself. It is for your spiritual will, not for the world. There is nothing to show the world. Nobody has to give you any credit. Nobody has to recognize you. The only one who you're reporting to, and the only one who will give the results or give you your mark, is that Lord Almighty. He is the one you need to be fearful of, not anybody else. You need to look in good in his eyes. So work hard, strive hard, because you're reporting to him, not to this anybody in this material world. The day you understand this truth, then you're not bothered about what people say, what people don't say. Then while anger, lust smolder within, why should you get angry? It's a very beautiful test. I can only take my own example. Yes, anger has been a tendency, which is something that I need to work. And I've explained how my Guruji says, you have to use the same quality. God has given you that anger for a certain reason. But doesn't mean you misuse that, right? You don't have to get angry over petty things. You don't have to get angry with what people say and don't say too. So what does it mean? You have to shut yourself. You have to train your mind not to bother about what someone says, someone doesn't say. Something very stupid happened and I was like getting irritated within. And so this is exactly what Baba is saying. While anger, lust smolder within, I was getting angry within myself. Why should I do that? Why should you do that? You don't have to get angry. So what happens when you get angry is you're falling down in your spiritual being, because you're not able to control your mind. Who's getting angry? The mind is getting angry. Who is falling for lust? The mind is falling for lust. It's telling you getting married, fulfilling whatever your desires is a must in life. So don't go after it. Or it's saying, I need name, fame, recognition. I need to become somebody great. Not worth it. Everything is futile. Nobody will be bothering about you. But the one thing that will you be, if you go on the path of spiritual, that you will attain is the highest spiritual being. You will redeem yourself. So what is this but ignorance? So if you can't live, if you cannot practice not getting angry, not falling for lust, then you will be spiritual. Otherwise, you are an ignorant being. Then you are not even getting any knowledge from this. So in reality, full of wicked deeds, without a place for righteous deeds or good thoughts, but flaunting a knowledge of Brahman outwardly, is this not clearly ignorance? Oh my God, this is a very, very, very powerful question Baba is asking. What is he saying? In reality, full of wicked deeds. See, in real, you're full of wicked. You have lust, greed, desire, everything, anger inside. You have bad thoughts. There's no good thoughts about people or place, whatever, right? You're harboring bad thoughts, evil thoughts. Everything is happening within. Then, but outwardly, but flaunting a knowledge of Brahman. Then you're flaunting that, oh, I know Brahman. I'm enlightened being. In this material world, there are a lot of these fake gurus who keep telling that, see, a real master will never say, I am the knower of Brahma, or I am the Brahman myself. He will never open his mouth and say, you know what he'll say? I don't know. I don't know anything. You meet my Krishna Guruji, you will wonder, is he a real master? But that is who he is. He is the real Lord Almighty. But you can't make out. Why? Because they don't flaunt. He doesn't have to flaunt. He doesn't have to show anybody that who he is. Those with the grace, those with a real bhakti in their heart, those who are the Hari Bhakt will definitely recognize him. And his grace, when dawns on them, only they will be able to recognize him. But first, he is going to test everybody. Are you deserving? First, become deserving. That is the most important thing you need to achieve. Become deserving of that grace and then experience the divinity. You can experience anything you want, and just the touch, the benediction on your head will just sail you through this material worldly existence. Such is the power of this Guru Bhakti. The Lord Shri Krishna says that. And be devoted. him. So then he's saying, if the person who are doing this, isn't it not a clear sorry, is this not clearly an ignorance? Aren't they ignorant being? That is what Baba is saying. So one who's portraying something like this, aren't they ignorant being? And then there are a lot of followers for them. They believe that they are the greatest gurus, and people go follow in that, and they go further in the ditch. Baba, a cloud of compassion that you are, extinguish this fire of ignorance by a shower of your grace. This and this alone will bless me. Absolutely, you have to seek this grace from the Guru. I do not want a mere talk of knowledge. Please remove this excessive ignorance of mine and bestow your grace on me. In that itself lies my happiness and contentment. When your Guru's grace dawns on you, then all the ignorance will be destroyed. Just his grace is all is important. But you have to seek it. It's not just going to come to you like that. Sai is loving and compassionate. Making the pretext of Nana, he gave this exposition of the Gita for you and me and for everybody. Absolutely. This one verse, just because of Nana, everybody else got such a profound knowledge. And every verse in this is very, very truth. It's a profound truth, and you have to go deep in it. And when you ponder, you will understand. So Shravan, Manan and Nididhyasan, do that. Gita is the word of God, and therefore really a Shastra, the truth of which holds in the past, present and the future. It should never be slighted. Please don't take this lightly. Gita is the word of God. Lord Shri Krishna says the way of life. In Shri Krishna Ashram, we live the way of life, which is Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna's way. That is who we stand for. And it doesn't come overnight. We have to practice. You have to go through tests every single day until this body exists. We have to keep doing our sadhana. It doesn't mean that, yes, I have the grace to live with my guru or somebody else has the grace of him. Doesn't mean we have attained anything. But you have to do. You have to strive hard every single day. And that itself is sadhana. That itself attains Lord Shri Krishna. Then, those who are excessively attached to sensual pleasures and those who are self-realized, they both have no need of the significance of the Shastras. It is created only for the seeker. Please, I'm going to read it this. Those who are excessively attached to sensual pleasures and those who are self-realized, they both have no need of the significance of the Shastras. It is created only for the seeker. To uplift that seeker who sincerely feels, I am so securely tied to the senses, when will I be liberated from them? It is for his redemption that these Shastras are born. See, when a seeker feels, oh God, I am so tied to the sensual pleasures, I'm attached to this worldly life, I am in the bondage, I want to break free. And when you seek that, then the Shastras come into existence, and then you have to walk the path to attain that spiritual wheel. That's what is Baba saying here. On seeing such a devotee, the saints are moved by compassion and find some excuse to give him instruction effortlessly. So when your innermost being seeks this, then on seeing such a devotee, the saints are moved by compassion and find some excuse to give him that instruction effortlessly. Please know that the divine masters are all knowing. They know your past, present and the future too. So they know what is there within your innermost being. When that sincerity is there, when you truly seek the divine and when you are the devotee, then they will get this instruction effortlessly. Be it God or be it Guru, he is absolutely in the power of his devotee. He is anxious for the devotee's weal and takes upon himself all the devotee's difficulties. This is so beautiful. You know what? Be it God and Guru, he is absolutely in the power of his devotees. What does this mean? They crave for their devotees' love. They don't need anything from you. That is all they crave for. They just want that pure love from their devotees. You need to give that. I'm sorry. So they are in the power of their devotees' love. What does this mean? They come, they manifest in the form of this divine Guru only to give you spiritual will because they love you so much. They care about your love. So when you sincerely call upon them, they manifest on this planet Earth to give you spiritual will. But what should you do? You should be absolute devoted to them and use this opportunity to attain your spiritual will and don't waste your life. He is anxious for the devotee's will. They only care about your will. They don't want you to suffer this material worldly existence. So they want to redeem you, and takes upon himself all the devotees' difficulties. No matter what you go through, the gurus take on themselves and suffer. They suffer for the welfare of their devotees and the well-being of this entire universe. That is what a real master is. Nobody else will do this. Nobody else will take your karma except the real Lord Almighty, who is the real guru, not anyone else. Now, I shall briefly narrate to you another Sai's marvelous ways, how he would initiate a piece of work without anyone being aware of it. It may be a small task or a big, but the real purpose would never be given out, while the work would gradually take shape without even a mention anywhere. The project would come up quietly, quite casually, and would be initiated without any indication or naming of its real purpose, creating, on the contrary, quite an erroneous impression on everybody. It was as if Baba was undoubtedly giving the actual experience of the conventional adage. What real work will he do who only babbles? And what will it rain that merely thunders? Incarnations like Baba appear in this world only to do good to others, and when their mission is achieved, they merge in the end into the unmanifest. But we do not know the root cause of our existence, from where we have come and where will we proceed, or why we were born, and what is the purpose of our birth. We spend our life as we wish. Then comes the time of death. All the bodily organs become feeble, and yet a good thought does not enter the mind. What does all this say? See, the gurus manifest in this world only to do good, and they'll do it very quietly. And then they're also testing people who only babble and who just rain thunder and they don't do anything. Mere talk. They're just hot air, like my Krishna Guruji will say. They'll only talk hot air and no work gets done. But my Guruji will always say this, you have to be a doer, and he will ensure that we do everything, and the word I don't know should not come from our mouth. Even if you don't know, go learn and then do it. This is how the Krishna Guruji teaches here, and he doesn't like anybody laxing. So here Baba says he's going to see how, who and what people do and how they work or not work. And then it's also said that we don't know why we come, but the divine masters come here to do good in this world, and then they go back into the unmanifest. Although we see the wife, sons, brothers, mother, our chosen friends and kith and kin dying before our eyes, yet it does not give rise to any good, wise thoughts in our mind. I think we have done this enough. Despite we seeing everything happening around, it still doesn't give us the thing. Why are we still being attached? Instead of that, we will start crying, feel sad, become emotional. We still get attached even after they are dead and gone. We're still not bothered about our spiritual being. But the saints are not like that. They are most alert, and having full knowledge of the time of the death, they know their own nirvana. They are only taking the name of the God even at the time of the death. They know nirvana means they attain the divine. They go back into in the Lord's abode. They are not going to come back. They only manifested for a certain purpose. After that, they attain nirvana. While still in the body, they very lovingly wear out their body for the devotees, and after that make use of the place of their death for uplifting their devotees. See, whether they are alive or whether even after their death, even then they're only doing good in this world. So you have to be that goodness. What is that? What is the legacy you will leave after death? That is a question you need to ask yourself. Do you want people remember you? How do you want them to be remembering you? That is the question you need to ask. Look at the great saints, whether it is Sai Baba, Ramana Maharishi, Kabir, Tukaram, Mirabai, or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji. What is that? We bow down. We talk about them. We read about their glories. Such a beautiful life that they have lived. They made a name for themselves and for uplifting this entire universe. And they left their legacy, which is divinity. That is what you should live and leave. So thus, before giving up the body, some get their samadhi built so that later the body may be laid to rest definitely at the same spot. And Baba did the same, but nobody realized it earlier. He got his Samadhi Mandir built. Really, his Leela is marvelous. A very wealthy person from Nagpur, Bapu Sahib Bhutti by name, at his hands Baba had this monument raised. Bapu Sahib was a great devotee, always absorbed at Baba's feet. He came with his family to Shirdi and stayed there to serve Baba. Out of love for Baba, he would always stay there time and again, and later on felt like staying permanently in Shirdi. And he thought that he should buy some plot of land and construct a small building so that he could stay there independently. It was here that the seed was sown initially, and the mandir today is the tree that grew from it, which is a memorial to Baba's love for the devotees. How it was raised little by little, in what way it was begun, and how it took its present shape. Listen to an account of all this now. Even as the thoughts were passing through his mind, Bapu Sahib had an interesting vision while he was asleep on the upper story of Dikshit Vada. And while Madhav too was sleeping in that same place, even he had the same vision, to the astonishment of both. Babu Sahib had a dream in which Baba commanded him, build your Vada, most certainly including in it a temple. Immediately on seeing this vision, Bapu Sahib woke up trying to remember the dream from the beginning as he lay in his bed. While this was taking place, Madhurao was suddenly heard weeping, and as Butti called out to him to wake up, the dream vanished. When Madhurao was asked, why were you weeping? He said, I was overcome with love when I heard Shri's loving words. My throat was choked with emotion and tears welled up in the eyes. The intense love in my heart that I could not control burst out into tears. Coming close to me, Baba gave a distinct command. Let the Vada and the temple take a concrete shape. I shall fulfill the wishes of all. In his heart, Bapu Sahib was quite amazed that both of them should have the same vision. But this cleared all doubts from his mind, and it was resolved to begin the work. Butti himself was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and therefore had the means to build the Vada and the temple. Madhav was just well-to-do, and yet both had the same vision. Their dreams tallied with each other's, and both were most happy. They fixed the general outline of the project, which was approved by Kaka Dikshit. So, early next morning, when all the three of them were with Baba, as usual, Baba was scrutinizing Shama's face with great attention and love. See, they're all knowing, yet they, use methods to get their job done. Don't think you're doing, or you are the one who's, doing it. No ego. They are the one, you're just a tool in the hands of the divine. They are getting their work done through you. You're the chosen one, and you need to be extremely lucky for being that tool in their hands. Shama said, Oh God, what is this incomprehensible sport of yours? You do not even allow us to sleep peacefully. There too, you make us rave wildly. On hearing this, Baba at once put his hands on his ears and said, Whatever anyone may say, we have been in our own place. Then the above mentioned scheme was put forth before Baba for his consent. Immediately, Baba gave permission to build the house with the temple. Madhav was already girding up his loins, and at his hands were built the basement and the ground floor. The well was constructed too, and the work progressed thus far. Eagerly, Baba would watch the progress while going to the lendi or returning from it, as the doors and windows were being fixed. Raising his index finger, he would say, Put a door here, a window here. Here to the east, take out a gallery. It will enhance the beauty. Later, according to the law of cause and effect, the work that was to be carried out at the hands of Bapu Sahib Jog was then entrusted to him. We're already at the end of the hour, so we will stop here, we are stopping at verse 148, and let us see in the next session, that's on Monday, and what happens and how the Samadhi Mandir is being built. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Please keep in mind, this last couple of days' lessons has been very, very important and powerful. So please go and contemplate on it. And may you attain your spiritual will. Wishing you all a very happy Friday and a good weekend ahead. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nathanatha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.